It's the new eufy Omni C28 smart vacuum, a budget-friendly to mid-range smart vacuum with the ability to mop. So if you're looking for that combo that can mop and vacuum at the same time, then this might be an option you might want to look into. Now, I've been using this for about a month now, and for full disclosure, eufy did send this out to me for full honest review, but I do not allow any other types of sponsorships in any of my channels. In today's video, I'm going to tell you what it's been like using for a month or so, and some drawbacks that I definitely have to mention in this review. But for some people, this still might be a good smart vacuum. So without further ado, let's jump in the video. Now, spec-wise, this does pretty well. You have 15,000 pascals of suction power, which is more than enough for everyday cleaning. In scientific tests, obviously they're going to be stronger, but in everyday use, as you can see here in this video, it did really well in the one pass, picking up all this debris. And one thing that I love about this is that there's two side brushes. So it's going to direct debris into the vacuum. So if there's stuff that sticks out a little bit, it's going to bring it into the middle where it can then suck up. And a lot of vacuums out there only have one side brush, where this has two. Now, unfortunately, neither one of those side brushes extend out. So when it comes to edges and corners, it's going to do okay in the edges, but unfortunately it doesn't extend out to get the corners. But this gets pretty close, but not in every nook and cranny like some other models that have the extendable side brush can do. And this also has the dual spiral detangle brushes. That's your main brush heads. And as you can see here, they're right next to each other. And what happens if you have pet hair or just regular carpet that might get sucked up into a vacuum, it's not going to get tangled around that main brush. It actually gets sucked towards the center, and as you can see, there's a gap in the center. There's also some combs, and as it falls off the main brush, it will get sucked up into the dustbin. When the robot goes back to the base station, which I'll talk more about later, it all gets sucked up into the main debris bag, which I'll talk and show you later. Now, this can also mop. So if you have hard surfaces in your kitchen and your bathroom, this can also mop. And this has the Hydrojet self-cleaning roller. So as it's spinning, it's going to clean the roller, and that way it's putting down pressure on to the floor at the same time that it's mopping and washing that roller mop, which they say it washes 9 times per second, which I can't tell. I just know it does a great job of mopping. Unfortunately, it doesn't extend out. So if you're looking for a roller mop that extends out to get as close as possible to the edges and the baseboards, this does leave a little bit of room where it will not extend out. So just keep that in mind. In this budget to mid-range, it doesn't have the extendable side brush or the extendable mop. Also keep in mind, this does not have a mop only mode. So if you do want to clean up liquid spills, some of that liquid might get sucked up into the dustbin. So keep that in mind, that it's probably not the best to use for spills. And when it comes to obstacle avoidance, they have this system that they call the iPath 2.0 laser navigation. Now, unfortunately, in my normal obstacle avoidance task, it failed pretty much everything. It did avoid one piece of feces, but eventually it came back and ran over it. And I talked to my contact at eufy, and they said anything under 3 centimeters will not get picked up by the system. So unfortunately, my main testing when it comes to obstacle avoidance is feces, pens and pencils, and wires, which all are under 3 centimeters. So I did a test of bigger objects and it passed that just well. So if you're a type of person that leaves smaller things on the floor, or if you have kids, then this might not be the vacuum for you. But if you're worried about bigger things, this thing can definitely see it and avoid it. So just keep that in mind. And this does have a base station or Omni station where it goes back, sucks out all the dust and puts it into the main dust bag, washes the roller, and then dries it so it doesn't start stinking. Now this Omni station on the base station has a dirty water tank and a clean water tank, and this base station is on the smaller side, so keep that in mind that the tanks are kind of small also, so you're going to have to refill it more often. And then the main dust bag is actually under the water tank, so to get to that bag, which you don't have to do that often, maybe every couple months, you have to take off the water tanks and it's underneath that. No big deal. I like that design. Just keep that in mind. That's where the bag is. So who is this for? This is someone who wants something newer on the market that is still in that mid-range to budget friendly, that can mop and vacuum. And if you have pets, this is good because it has that dual spiraling main brush head so it doesn't get the hair tangles. But keep in mind, it's not for younger pets because it doesn't have good obstacle avoidance. Now, I would say this is for someone who has a smaller house, maybe an apartment, maybe a dorm. If you have a large or mid-sized to larger house, you probably want to go for a bigger vacuum with larger tanks. But for smaller houses, this is a perfect size for you. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I hope this video was helpful. I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.